What's up, friends? Today we are going to be talking about drums in GarageBand. So specifically drums and how to use the piano roll, which is right here, to program drums, and also some techniques to make your drums a little bit bigger and have more depth and a little bit more feel to them. This comes from an email subscriber request from Rick. Thanks, buddy. Most of the drums that I've done on this channel has been with the loops or just kind of using stuff as an example. And he asked if I could go into the piano roll, make some drums, and basically what would I do to make them sound a little bit more real, a little bit bigger and fuller and all that stuff. So inside this GarageBand session, I have just a simple rhythm guitar loop that I found in GarageBand. I just tried to find something that just had some feel in it, and we'll mute these drums real quick, and this is kind of what it sounds like. Right? Super good, clean guitar sound. Then I went ahead and just kind of for fun, just messed around and tried to get a decent drum programming, and this is what it sounds like. We'll listen to the whole thing here. And then it starts over. So one little side note of something kind of cool that's happening is I felt like that whenever it came in, that rhythm section needed a little bit more energy. So I just went into the tempo map here and I added the tempo just a couple BPM up just to give it a little bit more of that excitement. Just a quick tip, you can actually do this to your choruses too, like just a couple little BPM up to give a little bit more excitement to the choruses. It's really, really fun. And to show this, you just go to track here, and then you go to, this would normally say show tempo track right here. And then you would just hold down Option and click, and then you can obviously move this however you want, up and down. Pretty cool. Let's get rid of that. All right, sweet. So the drums here, it's cool. It's like a cool beat, whatever, but it doesn't sound real. It's just kind of boring. The guitar is really big and full because it's a really nice loop, but the drums are kind of lacking a little bit of life, right? There's a little bit of life. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of like sound design this drum tone to try and get these drums to be a little bit bigger and fuller, right? So how I would do this is duplicate this drums track. All right, so we're gonna start building this out kind of slowly. So you can right click it, and we're gonna go to new track with duplicate settings, or you can just click Command D. All right, so we're gonna call this kick 2, and I'll show you why. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy this down. We'll actually unsolo that for just a second, and now we have basically a duplicate track, all right? So first we're gonna start working on the kick and trying to make the kick a little bit stronger. So I'm gonna find the kick by clicking here, which obviously on our piano roll here, and if you don't know how to pull up this piano roll, the easiest way to do it is just to double click on the clip here, all right? Awesome, so we have our kick. So now that we know where our kick is, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click here, I'm gonna shift click and select every note just to get rid of everything that we got, and I'm gonna delete. Oh, I missed one. Perfect, the snare. Okay, so now we should just have a kick. Awesome. Okay, so we have our kick sound. So now what I want to do is I want to go through maybe some other drum sounds and try and find something that I can layer on top of that other kick to make it sound a little bit more real and a little more interesting. So let's go through a couple of these and see what we got. And I'm just trying to look to see if I can find something that sounds cool that I think will work with the other one. Let's go. Okay. All right. Okay, so when I hear this kick, I really like the top end of the kick. It sounds really, really nice. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to grab my EQ here, because I don't really like the low end of it compared to this guy. Yeah, I like that deep low end, and we're going to find another deep kick to kind of compound on that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this low cut here. I'm going to bring it up. Maybe just a little lower. Okay, cool. All right. And while we're here at the EQ, it's a perfect chance to bring up the sponsor of today's video, which is QuizTones. So if you're trying to figure out what these frequencies are and how to manipulate them and where to put them, QuizTones is like the perfect app for learning how to do that. It's a super simple app that you can download on your iPhone, and it plays random tones and you have to guess what they are. And if you do this for like a week, maybe like 5-10 minutes a day, your brain will start to distinguish where these frequencies are, and it helps you really break apart these instruments and vocals, and especially this kick. Like I can specifically, I know where that low end is, I know where the high end is, and it allows your brain to kind of like separate all that stuff instead of just kind of hearing everything at once and not really knowing what frequencies you like or not. So thank you so much for QuizTones for sponsoring the video. I love that app. I've been using it for over 10 years now. I tell every engineer I know to get it, I promise. This is Okay, so now that we have that, let's put these together and just see if this works. All right. Okay, so now it actually sounds like one kick, right? Whenever I have this off, the low end's nice, but we're not going to get that cut, especially with this guitar. So then when we add that kick, there's just a little bit of a snap to it, right? So let's try this with the rhythm guitar and make sure that it works. So I'm going to mute it and unmute it and just see what we have. Awesome, that's great. So now what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this again. I'm going to go ahead and do the Command D here. And now I just have to bring down this click. So I'm going to Option, bring this down. So you hold down Option and bring those tracks down. All right, so this is going to be kick 3. So now what we're looking for is something with a really nice, deep bottom that'll sound good with that first kick, okay? So let's see what we got here. Yeah. Whoa. It's kind of cool. Man, this one is so different. Maybe that one. Let's see. That's got good low end. Ooh, this one's gonna add some impact in that low end. It's gonna make the low end a little bit tighter and rounder. Okay, so I'm gonna EQ this one a little bit. Oh, it's got a little bit of low end out for some reason. Oh, it's because, well, oh, it's because I duplicated it. Right, of course. Okay. So what I'm gonna do, and this is where QuizTones comes in handy, is I already know that this has a little bit too much of around 100 hertz that I don't like, that it kind of conflicts with this drum. So we're just gonna take a little bit of that out and make this pretty tight. This. Okay, I'm going to take this out. Just makes the kick a little bit tighter. And then what we're going to do, if I can grab this, we're just going to add a little bit more low end. I want that rumble. All right, let's see if it sounds good with this drum. Okay, let's listen to all 3 kicks. Yeah. So that's a huge difference. So let's turn off our 2 kicks that we got, our kick 2 and 3, and just listen to what we had before. Kind of boring. And now it has a little bit more impact. It's a little bit fuller, and we haven't even really mixed anything yet. We don't have any compression. We don't have anything like that. This is strictly just kind of designing with the thought of beefing up the low end and getting a snappier high end, right? Okay, sweet. So now we kind of have a good sound for the kick drum. So now let's do the same thing, but we need a much better snare sound, okay? So I'm going to duplicate the drums again. We're going to grab the same drums. We're going to copy this down, pull this down, all right? And then we're going to open up our piano roll here, and we're going to find the snare, our main snare. Let's solo this. Okay, so this. All right, it looks like we're kind of doing a second snare here, but we'll just let's get rid of these kicks. So this is our snare, so everything past that, we're gonna hold shift and select all this, get all this out of here. We don't need all this. Delete, okay. Sweet. Cool. So now we're gonna try and find we need a bigger snare here. That's kind of cool, but not really what we're looking for. And let's get a little closer here. Okay, let's see what we got. Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, I see. All these are more of like a rim shot. Wait a second. Okay, that's kind of cool. All right, so we accidentally found something. I was kind of looking for more of a bigger snare sound, but that actually sounds really, really cool. So let's keep that Motown guy, and maybe let's add some more. We're just going to use this reverb just to get a little more effect out of this. Let's see what we got. Okay, sweet. So I kind of like that. That's cool. So we'll turn this off. And on. Cool. So it just gives it a little bit more depth. It's more interesting, right? So let's do a snare 3, but we'll keep this as like the rim shot, these 2 snares together. And let's duplicate this again. I guess let's copy this down again. I forgot I did different snares here. So snare 3. We'll open up our piano roll again, and let's find our normal. Okay, and then what's this guy? I see. So that's our main snare. So we're doing like a rim shot snare, rim shot snare. I did this a couple days ago, so I kind of forgot what I did. Okay. Oh, whoops. So, okay. So get rid of all those. Still got our snare. Okay. And then we're going to get rid of everything else. Dun, 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 dun. This kind of starts to get really fun. Okay. Sweet. So now let's find a sweet snare sound here. Oh, that's kind of cool. That's... So Brooklyn's sounds very tight. That's loose. That one's cool too. That's kind of cool too. Ooh, that's a deep one. Okay, so we're gonna do a couple here. I like this Brooklyn. Let's hear how it sounds with the kit. All right, so what is? Let's get this kit. So. Okay. There's a little bit of harshness in there that was kind of messing with the other snare. So let's see how this acts with the rest of the kit. That's a lot better. That's a lot better. I still want something a little deeper, so we're going to duplicate this again. Bring this down. I hope this is showing you the possibilities, like of what's possible inside this, because it really gets fun when you start creating these. And the coolest part is once you get to a certain place and you're like, okay, I really like this combination, this blend, you can actually solo out, make a kick one by doing the same thing, but just keeping that same kick and soloing these and then exporting them so you just have one kick and then one snare and one hi-hat, right? All right, so let's, what was the one? Was it heavy? I wanted, was that the one? Let's get a little closer. Okay, it's Liverpool. All right, Liverpool. There's a lot of stuff going on this one. What is over here? Interesting. Oh, they're using gain. Okay, so this has a little bit too much low end, I think. Let's see all our snares here. Yeah. So we're gonna lower it just a little bit. It's still really cool. Might be too loud. Let's see how it sounds with the rest of the kit here. Awesome. So now what we can do is we can actually bring down our second section. So all this is in a decent spot. Again, it's not mixed necessarily, like we're just kind of getting it close. We're in like song, you could almost call it like songwriting mode, right? So let's make our kick track real quick with this guy. So I wonder if we do this. Okay. So we already have our kick there. So we'll get rid of all these. Dun, 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 dun. Awesome. And so then we'll... All right. And then we'll copy down to our other kick. Sweet. And then we're going to copy that same thing down to our snare 2, which is, do we use a snare 2 here? We did. Oh, that sounds crazy. So we'll get rid of our kick, which is there. And then this is our snare, so then this is what we want. Make sure all that's gone. Okay, so it's just that first little part is our rim shot snare. All right, and then we'll do it again. Bring this down. And then our snare 3 should be, yep, it's this guy. So we'll go everything except that guy, get rid of, and then it looks like just from here. Okay. And then we should just be able to copy that same thing down. Let's see what we got here. It's kind of cool. This section is so different. It needs a little bit work. The levels work really good here. So we can actually do that with automation if we wanted to. So since these levels work pretty nicely together, now what we can do is create some dots here. So we're gonna sort of design these a little bit separately than the first section there. So we're just making these dots so that we don't mess up our mix of this beginning part, right? And then let's just start on. Okay. Is it this one? So this is a little too loud. I'll bring that down. Maybe we want this up a little bit. Maybe we want our high end kick up a little bit to make it a little more aggressive. Oh, so it seems like we've got some, where's our snare? So what we can also do is check, it looks like, I see. Looks like our velocity here is a little bit louder. So we're gonna select just these guys, bring them back down a little bit. That's part of our issue. Okay, sweet. Sweet, sweet. That's not too bad. Not terrible. Okay, now let's listen to the whole thing. So what I'm going to do is we're going to kind of A-B. So I'm going to mute everything that we had. We'll let it play this, this first section, then I'll turn it on. Then we'll have a little bit of this section, then I'll turn it on at the end. All right? Let's hear what we got. See what we did. Huge difference, right? I mean, especially once it gets to this section here. I mean, it is just a massive difference. Pretty crazy. So this is a way that really allows you to get just a more interesting drum sound. And again, we haven't mixed this, we haven't added compression, we haven't added reverb on the snare, we haven't done any of that stuff. And it really creates something that can be pretty special for your song, for your mix. And especially if you have some other sample packs or some other drums, you can really manipulate this to get a really cool tone. So I hope this kind of gets your brain turning. I hope it helps you, especially Rick, who recommended this video. I hope this helps you kind of start to think about drums in a different way instead of kind of just picking a sound and then going in the piano roll and making a bunch of settings. Doing it this way is a little bit more creative. It's a little bit more fun and more fulfilling because instead of having one simple kick that you're really trying to make work, especially if it's a sample like this, you can actually layer multiple kicks and really create an interesting tone that will make your song, just more interesting. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope this helps you. And definitely go check out QuizTones. And if you are getting started learning how to mix and trying to figure out EQ and compression and saturation, I have a preset bundle that I made for you that's for vocals. It's over 30 presets for EQ, compression, and saturation. It's super awesome. It's helped a lot of people. So if you want that, it's completely free. Just click the link in the description. All right, friends. Peace out. That was fun.